Once upon a time, there is a kingdom called Colliers that was ruled by an arrogant and evil queen. She had a beautiful daughter named Alexia. Many kings and princes from all across the country want to marry her. Prince Charles lived in a small country. When he heard about the story of a beautiful princess, he told his father that he wanted to marry her. The king against it at first, but at the end, he let him go. When he began his journey, Prince Charles was very excited, but he had no servant. "I'll find servants on my way," he said to himself. Along the way to the city of Colliers, Prince Charles has found a few servants that was gifted with amazing ability. After the Prince Charles arrived, he went to the castle and met the queen. "Your Majesty, I want to marry the princess. What do I have to do?" he said to the queen. "You'll have to do 3 things. Do them well so you can marry the princess, or else you will die," the queen replied. "What's the first task?" asked the prince. "I have beautiful blue jewel. Yesterday it fell into the river. Bring me the jewel before the sun goes down," the queen replied. The prince went back to his servant. Quick-Eye Man has the ability to see through things and from far. He went near to the river to see if he can find the jewel. Fat Man has the ability to eat and drink as many as he wants, so he drank the water in the river. Long Arm Man has the ability with his arm. It's the longest arms in the world. After the river almost dry, Quick-Eye shows where's the position of the jewel. Long Arm took the jewel and gave it to Prince Charles. The queen was very angry when she saw the jewel. The next morning, Prince Charles woke up early and went to the queen for the second task. "I have 30 chickens outside. Eat them all before 12 o'clock, said the queen. "I don't like to eat alone. Can I invite a friend?" asked the prince. "You can ask only one friend," the queen replied. Prince Charles invited Fat Man to eat with him. Fat Man quickly ate all the chicken. Then he ate all the other animals in cage, the bread in the kitchen, the fruit on the tree, and the vegetable on the ground. After the queen knows that Fat Man has already ate up everything in her castle, the queen got angrier and angrier, and she thought of a plan. The prince came to the queen for the last task. "Will you have dinner with me tonight? Then you can sit with the princess for 2 hours," the queen asked. "Yes, I would love that," answered the prince. "When a person falls asleep, the princess will disappear and the prince will die," continued the queen. That night, Prince Charles put on his most beautiful clothes and had dinner with the queen. When the prince turned away for a minute, the queen quickly put something into his glass of wine. The prince did not see it, he just drank the wine. Then the queen took the prince to meet Princess Alexia. He sat near to the princess and they were very happy. But suddenly, Prince Charles felt heavy and he fell asleep. Half an hour later, Prince Charles woke up. He realized that Princess Alexia is missing. He couldn't find her, and he went to his servant to find the princess. Big Ear Man has the ability to hear from far and deep on the ground. He put his ear to the ground, and he can hear that the princess is calling from across the river and was trapped. They started to go to the river, but there's no bridge to across the river. Cold Man has the ability to freeze and turn the weather to be cold and snow. He opened his coat. Suddenly, snow fell. Everything went white, the river turned to ice, and they all ran across the river of ice to save the princess. Once the prince and princess back in a room, suddenly the door opened. the queen come in. She becomes speechless when she saw the prince and princess in a good condition. "We are having a very interesting conversation," said the prince. "Come with me. It's late at night, and your bedroom is ready." "Oh, your servants can sleep there too," said the queen. The prince and the servant followed the queen. She took them to a big room. Then she shut the door and locked them in. She ran to the cook and told them to set a great fire under their room. After a short time, the room got very hot. The prince went to the door to go out, but he couldn't open it. Big Ear Man told them that he heard a great fire under the room. "Open your coat, Man," cried the prince. When Man opened his coat, the room got cold again. "That's better," said the prince. The queen listened at the door and heard them. Then she ran back to the cook and told them to make the fire hotter. The room became hotter and hotter. "Take off your coat," cried the prince. Once the coat is taken off, the snow fell and the room became cold. The prince couldn't speak because he is too cold. The queen came to the door and she listened nothing. She thought they are dead. As she opened the door, the prince and the servants run out from the room. They find a place to sit by the fire to warm themselves. The queen now realized that she couldn't win, so she left the kingdom. Prince Charles and Princess Alexia get married. The servant now live with them and they live happily ever after.